this could work. So I skipped a bunch of steps here. Basically, let me see, I can't even see that. Added the downpipe already for the front turbo as well as the back turbo right there. Now here's the tricky part. I basically need to make those two guys connect using a V-band, so that's where it's gonna get tricky. Now one thing I learned from my previous build before is if I'm working with something that's basically solid without any sort of flex and I'm mounting them like this, I need everything to be welded. So as you see there, they're all fully welded, not tacked or anything, and the whole hot side it's already fully welded and tightened up. So I've also gotten these two pieces already. It's not gonna be a perfect fit in there. Yeah, so we'll see how this works. Alright, so here we go. What I did here is I welded the back part, at least what I can access right there, and then I put this brace right in the front and welded it right there. Hopefully that's strong enough to hold the shape in place until I take it off. It's kind of cooling, so I'm using the fan to cool it off. I don't want to remove this while it's warm, hot, or whatever. I want it to be 100% or at least really cold. Yeah. That way there's less chance of it warping. Okay. While I'm waiting for that to cool off, I'm going to start working on the driver's side. Now I don't want to run into the same headache that I did there. So I got myself, kind of shot myself in the foot with that one. So for this one, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to make this one, which is already mounted here. I'm going to make that merge into the Y pipe, design or make the Y pipe all together, and then do the top part. I'm hoping that will be a little bit easier than doing that. So that was a bad plan on my part. Alright, let's get that one started. Alright, so I finished welding this up. Not too bad, right? It's pretty good for a Y pipe right there. It's homemade. Oh, looks like I missed one, so I have to finish that up. But check out the inside. Okay, so while that's cooling off, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one out. Should be cool already. Yep, it's cold enough. Alright, so I'm gonna take that out and hopefully I don't break it or separate the two. Alright, so far so good. You guys can see the top flange and the bottom flange is actually still mated. So, let's see, moment of truth here. Not bad, stayed together. Surprise. Alright, so to put this on, I already know that I'm gonna have to basically line up everything before I tighten this top one. Just, you know, based on when I tried to take it off, it didn't quite slip on. That's because, if you guys notice, this V-band right here has a lip. So it's a little bit more, I don't know, I can call it precise or whatnot compared to the regular V-band. Wow, that's a terrible welding. Look at that. Huh, went straight through. And let's see here. Now this one is going to be a bit of a challenge compared to the other one. But at least that gave us an idea of something to do. Nope, I think we'll use this one. Alright, so here we are so far. I already welded the middle part here because you can't really access it from the outside, so you don't have a choice in that matter. Alright, so here's the passenger side Y pipe. I did mess this up a little bit. I had cut this a little bit too much, so then I ended up having to add like a triangle shape right here. I don't think that'll be a problem though, so it should be fine. Alright, so time to test fit this thing. Hopefully it didn't warp when it cooled off a little bit here. Huh. This thing actually mounted on a lot easier than I was taking it off before. That's the passenger side downpipe right there. Only thing now I need to do is the driver's side here, and then there'll be a crossover that I'm gonna match with that right there. Alright, I want to talk to you guys about a Vband really quick. I'm used to using a Vband like this, where in order for you to take off the flange, you'd have to basically max it out all the way, or take out the nut all the way to the top, or sometimes even fully releasing the actual nut all the way off before you could even take out the Vband. Now, I bought another Vband, and I didn't know that they make this kind of Vband. So fully tightened is about right here, and then you just loosen it out a little bit, or at least enough that you could actually snap this off like that. So all this is like, looks like a quick release design, which is really neat, because that basically means I could put it on and I could just do this and then tighten it. Or I'll put a link in the description of where I got this from, but I just thought it was really neat and I'd share it with you guys. Alright guys, so here it is, fully completed. Well, from here to here is fully completed. That still needs to get added over there. Well, besides the point, don't worry about that part. So technically this whole thing is a downpipe, but I'm just going to call this a hood dump right here, because it goes dump to the hood. But if you guys notice, this thing is only 1 7/8. Okay, now when I did a calculation on the cross-sectional area, 4 of these is actually the same amount of area as what a 4-inch pipe would have, or at least almost pretty close. It was like 11 point something versus like a 12 point something. In theory, this thing should flow plenty, considering that I'm only merging it into a 2.5 inch that will eventually merge into a single 3-inch catback exhaust. Alright, so I mounted everything back up. The B-bands are fully tightened, so these two are tightened and this one's tightened. Okay. And then I'm basically checking for the front one here, so I wanted to see to make sure that it's not, or it didn't warp, because it is a solid piece. That's what makes this thing difficult. It is a solid piece, right? So right now I'm checking to make sure that this one right here is still fully aligned, and by the looks of it, it looks like it's in good shape. Doesn't look like it got warped or anything. Now let me show you guys what typically happens, or what I've done in the past. I build something solid like this, and then at the end when I'm trying to put a B-band, it's something that's crooked like that. Right, maybe not as excessive, but maybe a little bit off, like this. Okay. So, little tip here: if you've never built something like this, you gotta weld something, and before you make this final bend where you merge two together in a solid mount, everything has to be really cool, like cool to the touch. Not even. Alright, so as I was saying, it's very important to let things cool off all the way instead of working with it when it's still hot, because what happens if it's still hot, it tends to warp a little bit, and it may only be off at like a millimeter here. By the time it travels to the pipe, you know, a millimeter there could actually adjust this side right here by a few millimeters, depending on how warped it is, right? Because you're only kind of angling it like this or whatnot. Okay, so fairly happy with this, that you actually lined up. It's pretty good. If you look really close, I don't know if you can see that. There's about like a hairline space between the turbo and the downpipe itself, and that's just gonna get pulled by the V-band there, so that shouldn't be a concern at all. Alright guys, so that is it for this episode. Next time I'll be mounting this to the driver's side. Hopefully this plan works out a lot better than having to do that one, because that one was a little bit of a pain. And then next week I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna get the merge and everything else under there, because there's not a whole lot of room to work with. So I mean, the creating part, like making the the Y pipe, is pretty straightforward, but getting access to it to tack in and everything, that's where the challenge comes in. Okay, but anyway, that's for next episode's scenario or issue or whatever else. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.